How does it apply to an actual story? Well, this is a story that happened in the UK last year. A riot started in August last year after a young man was shot on the streets of North London. And they spread throughout the country. And the big story about that was just how much information we were getting. We were getting stuff from Twitter, breaking news, all forms of social media, and it was being thrown at us all the time. So where do you start? Where's the data in that? Well, the data, it turns out, is just in telling people what's going on. And we started collecting the raw information of the riots, what was going on, where was it going on, and we published that data set and let other people download it. But it allowed us to ask other questions too. For instance, we forced the Ministry of Justice in the UK to release all the court records of people who were involved in riot cases. And they were really detailed sets of information, where people came from, what age they were, and that kind of thing. And it meant we could answer all sorts of questions. So for instance, a couple of days after the riots, David Cameron, the Prime Minister, stood up and said, "These riots are not about poverty. They're not about poverty." Well, I thought, well, that's an interesting thing to say, especially as it's only been a couple of days and you have no evidence. So we looked at that, and we had some of the data already. If you look at that map there, you can just about see the white dots in the middle. Those are the riots in Manchester, where they took place. And the map in the background is something we just had, which shows poverty across different parts of the country. Blue is richer, red is poorer. So the red areas are the poorest parts of the country. And those little dots on the map are where people lived who were arrested for riot-related offences. And we found, in fact, that 66% of people who were arrested came from the 10% poorest parts of the country. So within a couple of hours of the Prime Minister saying something we thought might not be true, we could actually prove it using the data and using free tools. And I'm not a developer or a designer, but we were able to do stuff like that very, very quickly.
I would say first thing is get comfortable with math. If you're still in college, take a statistics course. It will be vastly useful to you later. If you're in a newsroom now, start learning to at least take data and pull it into Microsoft Excel or some other spreadsheet and learn to do the simple things like sorting and filtering. Those will help you start getting the idea of getting your hands in the data and looking for the patterns that'll tell you the story.
Well, I believe that the opportunity that data journalism offers today is that it can help the field move beyond the old model of he said, she said, which is what we have had in journalism for many, many years right now. People who learn about statistics, about research methods, about the scientific method in general, about visualization principles as well to display your stories, etc., will be able to move beyond that model of journalism, which is still important, obviously. You still need to talk to people, to get your information. But now you can also interrogate and ask questions to the data and to the evidence that you can find in many different sources. You will be able to analyze that evidence and extract the stories from those data and create what I like to call, or develop what I like to call, evidence-based journalism, which is what I would like to see develop in the near future, evidence-based journalism.